Watch the best night of the week. If you don't know, come here. I gotta tell you. I'm gonna tell you a secret. Fans Club live show is on. That's why it's the best night of the week. Week 13 is in the books. Week 14 right around the corner. We got a lot to unpack with the biggest game of the week. You already know what that was. And then on top of that, we got to talk about the MVP race. Who do you have as your favorite? I need you to give an honest assessment on who you think is the forerunner for the NFL MVP. On top of that, we're going to dive into some college football conspiracy, or did they make the right picks with the playoffs? We're going to see either way. Fans Club live show. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your brother, tell your sisters. Let them know Fans Club live show is on, the most interactive show that you will find anywhere. I promise you. I just need you to make sure that you tell your people, let them know that we're live, we're about to get it in, a lot to unpack. So I need you to be ready. Bring your facts, know your team, know your stuff, so we can dive into it. It's nothing else to do tonight but watch Fans Club live, because that's what we're all about. All right? Y'all get ready. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed the best night of the week because Fans Club Live Show is on. Let me tell you, man, week 13 lived up to the hype. Listen, the season is coming to an end soon. The playoff picture is looking clearer. I don't know who's the pretenders, who's the contenders. All I know is a competitive race out there in the NFC and the AFC. I don't know who wants to step up to the front and be who's the guy, who's the team. We don't know. But I have my panel with me, and I promise you they're going to bring some great insight tonight. Salute to the first person on. What's going on, Steve? How you doing, sir?
Salute, fellas. Salute, my brother. Yes, sir. A lot to unpack. Let's talk about my Michigan Wolverines.
Yeah, I know you're ready to go. That's a big one. There's been a lot of controversy out there with the selections, but we're going to definitely break down all that's going on in the world of, what's going on, Rich?
Yo, you can hear me? Can't hear me? I don't know what's going on. Is it your end mic? I can't hear you.
Rich, I can hear you. You good. We can hear you.
All right, good.
What's going on, sir? Salute to you. How you doing, my brother?
Great. How about yourself?
Doing good. Look, I'm doing good right now, man. On to the next week. The next week, I'm doing good, man. Listen.
Oh no, Lamar.
I told them the last 2 weeks they gotta come out and run us that fade, man. I told them.
Man, y'all look unstoppable, man.
Hey, listen, man, don't jinx us because you do that. When you
I ain't jinxing. I'm just saying what y'all look like. Against the high-powered Philadelphia Eagles, unstoppable. That's how they was acting like.
Yeah. Let me make sure I got Lamar on. I know Lamar, you and Rob, but what's going on, sir? Salute to you, sir. Let me make sure I can hear you.
What's going on, everybody?
Lamar, what's going on?
We good, brother. We good out here, man. Hope you doing good, man. Listen, y'all went from one big game to another big game. There's no rest for the champs out here, for the NFC champs. Champs, man, defending champs. Y'all got a tough schedule ahead of you. So the world gonna be tuned in yet again.
Absolutely. And you said one big game to another big game. We've actually been big game after big game after big game after big game. We're in the tough part of our schedule right now. So yeah, we just got to keep on pushing.
And what's crazy is every one of your games is televised, by the way. Like every game is on TV, and I'm like, what? I'm like, dude, I know that you guys are the hot topic right now. Your quarterback is up there for the MVP race and all of that, but I'm like, they can get y'all at least 1 week off from TV. Like that would help, Sunday night, Thursday night, y'all get every night, man. I'm like, a little break from the Eagles would be nice, but they ain't gonna do it. They ain't gonna do it.
It's ratings.
Yeah.
In the drama in our football games. That's what they want to put on television.
Agreed. Yeah, they like that. All right, man. Listen, we're gonna dive in. We're not even gonna wait, man. Listen, it's week 13. It's now in the books. We are at week 14, but we got to recap 13 that took place first. Steve, your team was on. Y'all know how I do. First person on, be on first, you get privileges. So, Steve, talk to me about your Giants in terms of how y'all look with the young boy. And I know you got some upset people on the bench that's like, yo, why am I not in? Like, talk to me about a recap of week 13 if you can. If not, then I'm going to go to Rich. But I need y'all to give me a breakdown on how your team look and what's your chances of continuing your season? What it look like? Go ahead, Steve. It's on you.
So my recap of week 13, the Giants had a bye, so we didn't play that week. But Tyrod Taylor is active for week 14. I think the organization made the right decision by not playing him and starting, DeVito, because you need to see what you have in the young guys. Like I was telling Rich and you got to see what you got in him. We already know what Tyrod Taylor is. He's a proven backup. You know, been in the league. You know what you get from him. But this is the perfect opportunity to see what you have in DeVito, because you never know. I mean, in essence, the Giants aren't playing for anything. Mathematically, the Giants aren't out of it, you know. But in essence, you know, why not let the young boy go and let him continue to see what you got in him? He's playing good, you know, and I don't know if they blocking better for him than because I heard fans say that, oh, they block better for him than they do for Daniel Jones. No, he still got sacked 9 times that game they won, you know. So it's just a matter of the offensive plays being put in better position and giving the defense rest. If I could just mention your game for a little bit, the one thing about your offense is your offense gave y'all defense rest. You know, oftentimes when the defense don't give rest, you know, which happens week in and week out with the Giants, you know, they get burnt out and they get scored on. This is why you see Dallas putting up 40. This is why you see, you know, the Eagles last year putting up 50 against the Giants, because the offense gives the defense nothing. You know, when your offense gives your defense something, you keep them off the field, you keep them fresh, and they ready to go. You know, so I'm not gonna be long-winded because again the Giants didn't play, but I'm ready to get into these other games from what I seen from my perspective, because I can only speak from my perspective. But yeah, we didn't play this week, so I don't have a real recap of that. But that's the recap I have of my team in general.
Let me ask you this, Steve, about the Giants. If there's one thing you can salvage about this season, what would it be? Would it be finding out that DeVito is a capable player, or is it somebody that on a team that's kind of stuck out this year? What can you salvage with the way that this whole season is going for you?
Thibodeau. The Giants defense is real. And right now, I thought it was going to be coming into the season, but he's been injured in and out of the lineup, Azeez Ojulari. But Thibodeau's been playing lights out all year, you know. So I think the defense as a whole has been playing great, you know, for the most part. But Thibodeau is the shining spot on that team right now, currently. You know, I love Saquon. I'm not knocking Saquon, but I always tell people the offense is sexy, and that's what draws attention. You know, offense is what sell, but defense is what, you know, what it boils down to. And the Giants defense is what was appealing right now.
And what about I see that one thing I have noticed. One, DeVito, I like it, Rich. I like it, L. DeVito out there on the field.
They be doing this in the stands, bro. They be doing this in the stands.
Listen, man, the young man, obviously y'all know since his introduction, in terms of him getting on the field, we clowned him that night because we didn't know who he was. And then lo and behold, he captured my heart, man. I like him, man. He's from Jersey, so Jersey's strong. So I'm rooting for the young man. I think that whether he's with y'all or not, I don't know how his contract is set up, but I think he's made enough you know, on the field that he might have earned himself a spot with some more money somewhere. You know what I'm saying? I think if y'all don't keep him. So, yeah, DeVito got the fans loving something. They're at least excited about something. So I am happy about the Jalen Hyatt. That's one thing I noticed. DeVito is getting him the ball. I do like that. At least the last game right before your bye, he started utilizing the young man. And I seen him showing glimpses. He had 100 yards in y'all last game. So, yeah, they need
and that's
Hyatt.
And that's the thing with Hyatt, because I know Daniel Jones, he doesn't have a specific target. You know, he goes to whoever. I think his main target that he likes to go to is obviously Saquon, but he doesn't have a specific target. But I always want to know what was it with the coaches or whatever that they wasn't getting Hyatt in there as much. You know, I didn't want him to fall into the same thing that we fell into with Tony and eventually they fell out of love with each other, and the Giants traded Tony. Tony asked to be traded, and the Giants traded him. I didn't want, that to be the case with Hyatt, but he seemed to be getting more time now. And again, like I said about DeVito, it's perfect time to see what you have in your young receiver as well. Perfect time to get him the ball and see what he can do. You might have a playmaker on your hands. Who knows? And we know the Giants is in need of a playmaker. Any team that's in the top of the league right now, you can name them. I'll tell you who their playmaker is, who their big time playmaker is. Any team in the league. So the Giants is one of the teams that falls short of a true playmaker. Now, I'm not saying Saquon not a playmaker. Obviously, Saquon is a playmaker, but the running back can't do it himself.
That's a fact.
You make him one dimensional.
Yeah, and I mean, you guys showed resilience this year. If anything, like you said, mathematically, y'all are still in it. You literally need a lot of chips to fall in your favor. But overall, man, I see more fight in the last couple of weeks, or at least the last game or so, where it seemed like y'all were like, listen, man, we got too much pride to be looking like this. So, I don't know. A coach look like he's good, but definitely Danny Dimes is going to be a question mark in terms of how that's going to play out. But y'all might be drafting a quarterback in this upcoming draft, or I don't know if Caleb Williams is more. What do you do?
I doubt it. With the money the Giants is playing Daniel Jones, I doubt if they draft the quarterback.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, it would be a big mistake to be like, we made this kind of a boo-boo. But again, stranger things have happened because my Niners had to do it. We had to face the reality that, you know what, we're going to go with this guy, and this guy ain't the one. So, you got to bite the bullet and look real.
Yeah, but the difference with him and Trey, and I'm not knocking Trey, but the difference with him and Trey, and you can go back and look at it last year, a lot of key games, Daniel Jones is what kept the Giants in it and won the game for the Giants. When they were stopping the run, Saquon running, Daniel Jones is what kept them in it and ultimately led the Giants to the playoffs. So that alone, they're not gonna give up on him. Now, if he wasn't our counterpart, they'd have been gave up on him. You know that. You know how the NFL does.
That's a fact. Thank you, sir. Thank you for that. Listen, I know it's a short amount of time, but I'm gonna definitely have you chime in regards to these other games. I'm gonna go around and get the insight on the teams first, and then we'll get to obviously the game of the week until anybody else panel wise pop on. Rich,
yep.
Tell us about your Raiders, man. I mean, disappointment. It was close. What you think, man? What's going on with your Raiders right now?
Hey, we had a great week this week. Sunday was our game of the season. We went all out, blew that team out, and we just looked like just old school Raiders. I'm lying. We had a bye.
Who did you guys have? I missed that. Who did you guys have?
We had a bye.
Oh, that's why I'm sitting there like I remember you losing.
We had a bye. But anyway, it's just one more week for our rookie quarterback to get comfortable with our O-line and get our O-line healthy this week. And I'm hoping that they just go out there and look like we looked against the Giants. So I just wish, how in fantasy, how when everybody plays Ruben, they win. So when everybody plays the Giants, well, especially like us, if we play the Giants every weekend and put up 30-something points and shut them down, and then you see about 2 or 3 different quarterbacks out there, that's what I want to see. I want to see blowouts, quarterbacks going out on stretches, next one in, and then we're making him look bad. So that's what I want to see. I want to see old school Raiders, man.
And you guys have who this week?
We got Minnesota.
Ooh, listen,
What do you
Dobbs
mean,
redeemed himself from that last game. Dobbs gonna put up about 20. Advice to fantasy owners out there: if you need a quarterback this week, you might want to go grab Dobbs. He's gonna give you a good 25 to 28. Just let you know. So
hey, and listen, you go ahead and do that if you want. But if you look up any quarterback stats from the week AP took over, look up their stats. The quarterback stats came down. So go ahead and go out there and get dogs if you want. You're gonna be mad at yourself for going to listening to Mike.
Yeah, look, Roscoe disagree with you. He think you might be off.
I
on
don't
the
see
stats.
Roscoe. Where Roscoe?
All right, Rich. So overall, you guys are not quite where you wanted to be. You're at 5-7. What you are? What 2? How many games have you won under AP? I know you lost 2 and you won 2.
We 2-2.
2-2. So right in the middle.
I mean, we lost to Miami and Kansas City.
Yeah.
We could have won that Miami game if the QB was on his game. And then the Kansas City game, we was doing well in that game.
Mhm.
But then we came up short on 4th downs way too much, and the coach decided to go for it, and we didn't make it. So it gave Kansas City easy points because when we was going for it, it was on net and the field. But if he would have did that within I think it was the first quarter against Kansas City, because we went down the field, we scored right away, then we stopped them 3 and out. Then it was our ball again. It was we went down to 4th and 1, and everybody was telling AP to go for it, and he decided to go for a field goal, and we missed. And then the next drive, we stopped Kansas City again, and then we got the ball and went back down the field. But I think if we would have went on that 4th and 1 and made it, and then scored another touchdown, then stopped them and went 21-0.
Yeah.
The fan base would have been going crazy. The players would have been going crazy, and then we had a lot to look forward to. But once that happened, it kind of like took the energy out.
Yeah.
And then it didn't go all the way down south, but it went to Virginia.
Man, y'all gave him a good run though. It was. I looked and seen the score. I was like, Rich might actually pull this one out in the Raiders. But Kansas City, you just got to stay aggressive on them, and they're no joke. They're no joke at all. But Steve said, which is funny, he's right here, and he said,
Got a comment.
What did he say?
Steve is multitasking.
I can't get a word in while Rich talking, so I'm gonna sit here and put it up on the screen.
I know he had his hand up. I kept talking on purpose. I saw that hand go. I said, "Oh no, he ain't talking. I ain't say nothing about the Giants."
Hey, Rich, you dealing with a thinker though, bro. You got to realize I'm always 10 steps ahead of him. I'm gonna get it out one way or another, brother.
But listen, what did you say though?
Oh no, I'm not doubting what you're saying, but I'm telling you right now, the Vikings are gonna put 45 points up against y'all. Watch that.
You going to ringside? Because I put it on the table. They ain't doing that.
I live in North Carolina, Rich.
No, I buy at home. They ain't doing that.
Rich, I don't know. I think it's Jefferson's back that could change things. I believe his timetable.
He is. He's playing this week.
Jefferson is a nice name, but guess what? We got a Devontae Adams too. So Jefferson ain't scared nobody, man.
That's true. I mean,
45 points.
45 to what?
Out of what?
13.
Ooh, man, what the disrespect. Yo, hey, Mike, you know why he's saying that, right? Mike, you know why he's saying that, right?
I'm listening.
He's saying that because that's what we did to them, and now he's mad.
No, y'all beat us 30-6. Y'all didn't. It wasn't that.
No, it could have been a lot worse than that, but we took the gas off in the second half. It could have been a lot worse than that.
Y'all beat an inferior team. I mean, but the thing is, y'all garbage too.
5-7, and the Giants are what? What are
one
the
game?
Giants
One game behind them.
Hey, but Mike,
no, it's not even. Listen, man,
Exactly.
y'all can, if y'all win out, you put yourselves back in contention. You literally gotta like win out. To be honest,
both of us. But see, Mike, the difference between his garbage and my garbage is that the stuff I put in my garbage is like almost recycled garbage. He got old food in his garbage. You know what I mean? It just stinks. You don't want to go by his garbage.
So,
Rich.
Garbage you put
trash
out
is trash. No one eats trash, brother.
Garbage still stink. You leave recycle out long enough, Whatever's inside them containers is gonna still stink, man.
Man.
Good try, though. Good try. Listen, man. Thank y'all. I gotta get to the meat and potatoes, and I'm gonna circle around and get y'all thoughts on it. But thank you both for your insight on your 4-8 team and your 5-17, whatever y'all got going on out there.
Good, Mike. I like
out there in these streets, I understand everybody can't be successful like the Eagles and the Niners, Cowboys, and all others. But you know what? Y'all can
hold on, Mike. Mike, hold on 1 second.
Go ahead, sir.
Steve, so now you're trying to tell me that we're the 49ers and gonna lose to the Vikings? Is that what you're telling me? Yeah, get you back, Mike, because you're real slick.
They beat us, though.
So you Kobe now, Rich, because you getting your shots up.
Addison killed us. So but we needed though. So I know Lamar's a thinker. So as soon as I say this, he's gonna use it against me later. When you lose like that, it motivates you to not experience that again. It tells your team, all right, we got some work to do, and then they fix things, and then you don't repeat that again. So I'm sure Lamar can understand because we here now. We at that game. We're talking about the game of the week because we're both on here. Philadelphia 49ers rematch, not as significant as the NFC title game, but still a lot of chirping from both teams for the last year. What's December now? A whole year of back and forth chirping. Lamar, talk to us from your angle first because you guys were the home team. We had to travel. Give me a breakdown of how you guys were feeling beforehand that caused you to chirp as much as you did, and how did you guys feel now with that game being over, seeing the results?
As far as what you just said, I believe the chirping started from the 49ers. And the 49ers basically been chirping ever since the NFC Championship game last year. So what the Eagles players been doing is just been responding to what the 49ers players have been putting out there. Debo was doing a lot of talking. The kicker was even talking last year. So it was a lot of talking, and y'all really, truth of the matter is this, y'all really was upset on how you lost the NFC Championship game. Everybody knows it. It's documented. 49ers felt like if Brock Purdy didn't go out that game, that they would have won last year. So because of that, it left a bad taste in their mouth, and that taste carried over all the way into this season. And definitely what I want to say is that this game was marked on their calendar. This was a game that they wanted to come out and make a statement and prove to the world that they were better than what they put on display last year, not really last year, last season, but it was actually in January at Lincoln Financial Field. So they definitely came into this game with a purpose. Now, I just need to know, you wanted me to just go back and forth with you, or you wanted me to go into the respect the L segment?
Go ahead. Whatever you want. What's up? Whatever, however you want.
Are we going to respect the L?
All right, here we go. Why not, man? Why not?
Yeah.
So agree. All I have to say before I give him the respect the L is is literally. I told y'all we circled this game. I said it on the 49er Minor Report that the truth of the matter is we did circle it, and my players tried to downplay it like it wasn't that big a deal. We knew it was a big deal. And then if you see how they were in the locker room afterwards and on the way off the field, it was a very, very big deal. And we needed that because we needed to, like you said, show the world that was not us. But, man, it felt good. It felt good to redeem ourselves, so to speak, and so show that we could contend with a juggernaut. Listen, guys, 10-1. There's nothing you can take from a 10-1 team, regardless of schedules, 10-1 with everybody they faced. So for us to beat them in their stadium, we put the shirt on Rocky. We didn't care about the superstition. My fans were out there at the statue. And then to come and beat them in the fashion that we did, oh, man, I couldn't have asked for more as a fan. So, yeah, Al, The floor is yours, sir. I'm gonna give you the opportunity to do what you do, man, and give respect where the respect is due. Because the truth of the matter is, I think we earn that respect right now.
Lamar, before you go, can I go with just one thing real fast, Lamar? Can I?
Come
All right,
on, man.
listen. I want that one coach on the San Francisco 49ers. He did a great job preparing the 49ers for that game. He prepared them with all their the talk and everything else, and that's a player coach that now plays for y'all that was on Philly last year. He came up with a good scheme against his own team, and I really believe that coach deserved all kudos because what's his name? Grove, whatever.
Hargrave.
Hargrave. He did a
Hargrave.
fantastic job with the scouting and telling them everything.
Well, I'm gonna get into
Good.
that.
All right,
I'm
Lamar,
gonna
go
get
ahead.
into
It's
that.
yours now.
Yeah, Al. So give a breakdown on, give respect however you want. Give a breakdown on what you want to highlight. It's on you, sir.
All right, so I'm gonna just break it down like this. I kind of segue into it. Much respect. What we do, I don't know how. Some other people came on the show, and they were supposed to respect the L, and they were beating around the bush and kind of giving their excuses and stuff. I'm gonna come out and say this right away. Much props to the 49ers. They came into our house. They talk all year long, and they came into our house. They basically kicked the door open, announced their arrival. They went into our refrigerator, took whatever they want, left the refrigerator door open. They stomped all over our couch. They opened up windows. They did whatever they want in our stadium. And then they left. And when they left, they didn't even shut the door. They left the door open. So that's the kind of disrespect that they gave us in this game. So much respect. They had something to prove. I was talking about this prior to when we got into this respect the L segment. They definitely had something to prove. And when you talk like they've been talking all year long, and they come to our house when we was home underdogs, all of this should have had the Eagles fired up and ready to play, ready to also prove a point on Sunday. And basically all they did was come out and play one good quarter of football. And then after that, the 49ers completely took over this game. Our defense looked like MC Lyte's old song in the 80s, Paper Thin, because literally San Francisco, from the time that they got the ball in the second quarter, went up and down the field unanswered. Our defense had no answer for what they were doing. Mike Shanahan, his is it Mike? No, it's Kyle, right? Yeah. Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan. He called a phenomenal game with all emotions and stuff. Now, when we talk about the defense, the 49ers, the 49ers, understand the nature of this 49ers team. The 49ers is one of the top offenses in the league. They're also one of the top defenses in the league. So understand.
Go ahead.
So understand the level of competition that we was dealing with. I can do this. This is one of the reasons why coming on here and doing this and respecting the L doesn't hurt, because we faced one of the top football teams in the NFL, and we took a terrible loss though, and that's when I'm not up here giving an excuse for. We should have been prepared for what was to come, and we totally wasn't. But basically, I thought coming into this game that the defense would be a problem for us. No, in the game, we pass blocked perfectly.
10 seconds, 12 seconds.
Bosa did not dominate. Hargrave didn't dominate. Trey Young didn't do no. Our offensive line stood up. Yes, we had about 3 sacks, but a lot of the sacks came from Jalen Hurts holding on to the ball too long. One of the times he just straight up stumbled, and that's how they got it. So the offensive line did what they were supposed to do. We were able to put up some points against this top ranked defense, but the problem was the other side of the ball. And we have not been playing good defense all year long. A lot of our games now, what people need to understand is that we have one of the toughest schedules in the NFL. I will put our schedule up against any other team in the NFL and argue that ours is one of the top ones that you had to go against. Let me back up for some of y'all who may not agree with that. First of all, coming into this stretch, we had to take on the Miami Dolphins. We beat them. Then after the Dolphins, we took on the Dallas Cowboys. We beat them. Then after the Dallas Cowboys, we went on our bye. We came back and we took on the Kansas City Chiefs. We beat them. Then after playing the Kansas City Chiefs, we played the Buffalo Bills, which is no slouch. We beat them. And then we had to take on this task of the 49ers. Okay? So no excuse. I'm not going to say that, because some people were saying we played 13 games. We played 3 games in about 13 days or 15 days, something of that magnitude, because we played Monday night, then we played on a Sunday, and then we came back, whatever the situation is. But no excuses for me. The 49ers came in and they completely dominated us on offense. Our defense was unable to get the 3 and outs. We didn't get no turnovers. Early in the game, when our offense looked like they was hot, when we got to the red zone, the 49ers basically held us to field goals. And I knew right then and there that was a problem. I'm watching the game with my son, and I said, you need 7 against this team, because if you leave the door open, they're going to kick the door open, and they got the type of offense that can completely turn around this game. And it was big plays, man. Big plays. Deebo Samuel, big plays after big plays. And before you know it, the game was out of hand. Third quarter, when it looked like we was coming back, and we came with a counter blow offensively, the 49ers, y'all just responded, man, and complete right, and continue doing what y'all was doing up until that point. So long story short, much respect to y'all. What can you say when you lose 42-19? We haven't lost like that in 2 years. Okay. And that was in the playoff game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers when Tom Brady was still a quarterback. We haven't suffered a loss of that magnitude since then. And understanding the nature of what y'all did, this was only our 5th loss in 2 years. A lot of people don't understand. This was only our 5th loss in the last 2 seasons. So I'm looking to bounce back this week. Like I said, we have a grueling schedule, and in a lot of our games, this was the analogy that came to me. And I'm going to shut up and give the floor to the rest of you guys, because I'm sure you want to chime in. But a lot of our games, if I can compare it to boxing, we were winning a lot of our games with 12-round decisions, okay, where it was close. It was coming down to the wire, and we had to grind them games out. And Steve brought up an interesting point. When your defense is left out there for long periods of the time, and when you have close games and you're not knocking teams out, you leave that game fatigued. And eventually it's going to catch up to you, and you're not going to be at your top strength. So because of the way we've been winning games and the way y'all been winning games, y'all been knocking cats out. Y'all been killing teams. So we went into this game, okay, and literally we got just knocked off our rocker. Eventually, I knew something like this was going to happen just by the nature of the schedule. And so y'all gave us some humble pie. We eating it up right now. I hope going into next week, the team we're about to face, they're excited, looking at it, saying, "Oh yeah, we can do that." You're not the 49ers.
You talking
Okay?
to that
You're
Cowboy
not
fan base that's watching?
the 49ers. I just want to say that. You are not the 49ers. Okay? So if you come in thinking that, oh, you're about to do the same thing that they did, understand they're a totally different animal than the Dallas Cowboys. So so we'll be ready. We got some things to clean up, obviously, after this loss, and and we need some get right ourselves. So we'll see what happens next week. But that's it. Much respect. I hope you respect my outtake and everything that I shared on today. And kudos to your team.
Appreciate it. That's what we do here,
L
man.
respecting the L.
Go ahead, Steve. Go ahead.
L respecting the L. I like it.
I respect it. I have nothing to say. He broke it down. Say that again. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Say what you
said
say.
L respecting the L. I like that. Pun intended.
L respecting the L. Listen, that's what we do.
You know what? I gotta say this. Not everybody does that. Not everybody does that. And you know, and we got some guys here. I know you do it. I know Steve does it, because Steve gave me props last year when we beat them in the playoffs. He kept it real. I'm the type of guy that if you beat my team, I'm going to break it down. I'm not going to give excuses and nothing like that. I'm going, you know, go ahead. But some people on the panel that be coming up on here, they don't quite be breaking it down and giving the facts like it should.
I like it, man. Look, talking spicy, man. That's right. You gotta let them know, man. Listen, you know who you.
Oh yeah, shots fired.
Mike,
Yes.
can I tell you something Lamar said at the end?
Yes.
He was saying, he mentioned, and we all know who he was talking about when he said, not the last statement he made, not that. The statement when he said, you're not the 49ers, you're not going to do what the 49ers did. Could I touch that real quick? Because he brought up an interesting point. So he's saying that you're not the 49ers, and they got Dallas next week. This week.
They got them
right?
Sunday.
Yeah, that's what
this week
they got Dallas, right? He's saying you're not the 49ers. So that's for Dallas, right? Why are Dallas not the 49ers? The defense is almost as good. Why are they not? Because they don't have a playmaker like Debo. Stop calling CeeDee Lamb. Hold on. Stop calling CeeDee Lamb. Hold on. Stop calling CeeDee Lamb a number one. CeeDee Lamb is not. CeeDee Lamb is not Brown. CeeDee Lamb is not a number one receiver. I say it week after week after week. He looked like a number one that year because of Amari Cooper. The only reason why he got those numbers because he get the ball enough. If you shoot the ball 40 times, you'll average 30 points a game. Stop telling me that CeeDee Lamb is a number one. He's not. He looked like a number one because he get the ball enough. The reason Lamar feel comfortable about saying you're not the 49ers because he know CeeDee Lamb is not Ayuk. CeeDee Lamb is not Debo. They don't have the weapons that y'all have. That's why Lamar felt comfortable with saying that.
And on top of that, when you throw in Christian McCaffrey, Kittle, okay, in the way Brock Purdy is playing right now, I mean, they're clicking on all cylinders. So to beat them, you got to really bring your A game on defense. And we look, we're familiar with each other. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles, the NFC East at large. We're familiar with each other. So going into that game, I will say this, Steve. I will say this. CeeDee Lamb has eaten us up every time that we played them in the last couple of years. But like you said, the 49ers is a different animal because they got other elements to their offense. They got Christian McCaffrey. They got Ayuk on the other side. They got Kittle. They got one of the top offensive lines in the league. So yeah, there's different dynamics to it.
I'll say this as I go to Rich as well. I don't agree with the CeeDee Lamb statement now. My personal assessment, he is one of the top receivers in the league, regardless of how many passes he get. You can't argue 90 catches, 1,100 yards, 7 touchdowns, and like he got like what, 4 straight games.
You
of
could with 150 targets.
Yeah, I mean,
You could argue with it if you got 150 targets. You better catch it 90 times.
Yeah, but that ultimately that's how it play out. If you're the guy for that team, then you should be hauling in the passes, and he is doing that. He's third. He's ranked 3rd overall out of all the receivers in the entire NFL. So I can't.
And look at his numbers.
Like the Cowboys,
his numbers is not top 5 numbers. Look at him.
CeeDee Lamb has taken that step. He is a legitimate number 1. I do agree. During the Cooper stage, he wasn't. But now,
I agree.
Yeah, he's
too.
number 1. I can't even do that because he even had.
Look at his stats. His stats not top 5 numbers. That's all
right
I'm gonna say.
Rich,
No,
go ahead, sir.
No, it's not. I looked at it. It's not.
Oh, look, wide receiver wise, he like top 5, top 3.
No, it's not. I looked it up this morning. I looked at the top 5 receivers this morning.
What does he have
He's
this
not
year?
up there.
Right now, he has like 1,100 yards right now.
He must be looking at
no,
catches.
I'm looking at yards, catches, and touchdowns. He's not top 5.
All right.
I can tell you top 5
Oh,
is.
okay.
Trust me. I looked it
All
up. Remember,
All
y'all doubted me before.
Look, Cowboy fans are gonna beg to differ, but go ahead, Rich. What you got, sir?
Hey, I look at Lamb as a number 1. He was drafted number 1, and you could knock him for whatever reason you're knocking him, but when the ball is thrown to his area, he catches it. The receiver gets paid to catch with his hand. He catches the ball. Unlike a lot of players, aka Kansas City, that's wide open down the field, need a touchdown to win the game, and my man is dropping the ball 3 or 4 different games. So bottom line is that you get paid to catch the ball. Now, what you do with the ball, that's on you. But the man does his job. So you can sleep on him if you want, but the boy knows how to run routes. He catches the ball, and he's better than any receiver on the Giants.
Yeah.
So,
That's not saying much.
But the thing about it is that you're only talking about him because he's on the Cowboys. Now, if he's on the Giants, he'll be the greatest receiver in the world.
Giants, I would say the same thing. Would y'all tell him who I am? He must have remember Steve. Steve keeps it real, even if it's his team.
Hey, I don't care about the Cowboys as much. I like your point, but y'all get to the meat and potatoes.
All right, but listen, the meat and potatoes is that the Cowboys smell blood, and the Cowboys will beat Philly this week. Why Seattle smells blood, and they're gonna beat San Fran this week is because San Fran won their Super Bowl this past Sunday. They was acting like they just won the Super Bowl, and when you do that, you're gonna let your guard down, and your next game you will get your butt whooped. Hey, AKA Cleveland Browns, AKA Minnesota Vikings. So the 49ers is not this juggernaut that, some people got them out to be. I don't see him as a juggernaut. I see Philly as a juggernaut. I see the Cowboys as a juggernaut. I see Miami Dolphins as a juggernaut. I don't see San Fran as a juggernaut. They're a one-trick pony that runs slants. If you can stop those slants and get linebackers and safeties there, and then you're gonna mess up their route, and then that right there is gonna make Purdy stop to think. So you got to send a blitz. What Philly did to him last year, you got to continue doing that to him. You can't let him sit in the pocket and make his first, second, and third read. You got to make him think about the number 1 read, and once that's closed down, it's too late. They got him. So if you let Purdy sit in the pocket, he's gonna tear you apart.
I'll let the Philly.
Rich, you just insulted my football team. There's no way we're a juggernaut. Okay, there's no way Philadelphia is a juggernaut, and then we just lost 42-19 to a one-trick pony.
Hold on, Lamar. The NFL.
We didn't just lose 42-19 to a one-trick pony.
Said, Lamar.
He said San Francisco a one-trick pony.
That's what he said.
They are one-trick pony.
That's what he said.
There's not a better team than football. Maybe Miami close.
That, Rich, and I'm clipping that, and I'm making sure I tag every.
Tag that because they run nothing but slants. You run slants, and then you run the wheel route with your running back, and then you do your little anyway. Listen, Lamar. Lamar, it's just like you said. You had a lot of back-to-back playing good teams. playing top 5 teams in the NFL, and you went back to back with them all. Meanwhile, when San Fran did it, it was Cleveland Browns. Who's scared of Cleveland? Who's scared of Minnesota? Who's scared of, you know what I mean? So at the same time, I'm looking at Philly as being that they caught Philly at the wrong time. And the NFL did the 49ers a favor, because whenever a West Coast comes to the East Coast, it's a 1 o'clock game. Why was that a 4 o'clock game?
Because it was the primetime game.
No. If you're gonna put them on prime time, well then put them on Sunday night, Monday night. But you don't put a West Coast team, because when anybody else come out to the from the West Coast to the East Coast, it's a 1 o'clock game, aka 10 a.m. in the morning.
They had 12 months to prepare for that game, man. Don't give me that.
The NFL wanted eyes on that football game. That's why it was at 4:25.
You can have eyes on the game, but then put that game on Monday night, Sunday night, Thursday night. But you don't bring a West Coast team, because you don't treat us like that. You don't treat the Chargers like that. You don't treat Seattle like that. If they
I don't deserve it. Like garbage.
Right, you 5-7. Nobody cares when y'all come on. They want to see the Eagles.
No. The thing is that is regardless of the team, you treat everybody, because a minute ago it was about rules, right? It's about rules. So the rules are, if a West Coast team comes over there to play the East Coast, it's a 1 o'clock game. It's aka 10 a.m. But if you're going to change the rules because it's the 49ers, well, then you change the rules to every West Coast team coming to the East Coast and give them a 4 o'clock game, aka 1 o'clock in the afternoon. But you don't give a West Coast team a 10 a.m. game in the morning when they're waking up 5, 6 o'clock in the morning to go at 10 a.m.
Rich, I could rebut your argument. Listen,
and he's giving the whole team.
Listen. It got nothing to do with that. We had a good year last year. We was a Super Bowl team. So they gave Philadelphia Eagles mostly all 4 o'clock starts this year. We only had 2 games in which we had a 1 o'clock start, and that was against the Washington Commanders. Every other game that we play this year is a 4 o'clock start, and that's based upon what we did last year. So that same argument that you're saying about San Francisco, we were scheduled to play Seattle 4 o'clock. They're coming from the West Coast. We played the LA Rams a couple of weeks ago. It was 4 o'clock, West Coast. So you know what I mean? It was the same thing with every other West Coast team that we played this year. We played them at 4 o'clock.
But then it's y'all, and y'all getting special treatment, because any other team, if you check out us going to Buffalo, playing them at 1 o'clock, 10 a.m. game.
Guys aren't marquee when you
become y'all can play at 2 o'clock in the morning. Nobody want to see the Raiders, bro. The Giants either, don't get me wrong, but nobody want to see the Raiders.
But listen,
hold on, Rich. I got to rebuttal one thing that you did say.
Hold on, wait. No. He ain't gonna get that.
Since we talking about rules, let me bring something in that happened during our game. Since we're talking about rules, when security want to mix it up with a player, and now the NFL got to put out a whole, announcement about what the rules are. Their rules state that should never be an incident where non-football players are having any type of taunting or interaction with an opposing player, but yet this big
while the game is in progress,
push my guy and then get a hand in his face. All I know is in my 30 years of watching football, 30 plus years, I've never seen that, and it came at a very good time because it gave them a spark, and they scored on that drive. So I was like, yo, how are we going to respond? And when we responded, it let me know that, we came to play this game. Philly, I thought that was trash. First of all, I'm like, why? Here's the truth, Rich. Devontae was fighting for yards. He didn't want going down. He kept trying to get yards, so he got slammed.
The whistle blew, Mike. You leave that part out. The ref blew the whistle. While the whistle blew, Devontae was doing what he was doing, and then Greenlaw, after the whistle blew, then Greenlaw said, "You little 179-pound receiver, I'm gonna." He slammed him on our sideline, and that started everything.
He didn't get ejected for slamming him though. That's a penalty, yeah, but
no, that was a 15-yard penalty. The ejection came.
Is fine. The penalty is fine.
Getting the penalty.
You touch players that's not your players. Like that's.
First of all, listen, I'm not on here to try and defend Dom. I ain't know who he was. His name is Dom. Dom, he's a superstar now in Philly because of that.
Dom, you better, I don't want you to lose your job, but you better get demoted after that. That's what I'm gonna say. Listen, I thought he was a coach. So when I was seeing the game live, I thought Greenlaw was bugging. I thought he was one of our coaches. It wasn't until they announced that he was head of security, then I was like, oh wow. And when they was, when they was ejecting Greenlaw and ejecting him. Rich, my starting linebacker got ejected for interacting with a security dude.
But here's the flip side. Here's what nobody else is saying. Did Greenlaw know he was security? He could have been a coach on our sideline. He did not care. His actions was still his actions, regardless of who that was. That's what I'm bugging at.
It doesn't matter if he was a coach. You don't put your hands on a player that's not on your team. It doesn't matter if he's a
coach. That happens at sidelines all the time. Coaches trying to separate players. That happens. So I thought he was a coach.
But regardless if it's the coach, the head coach, or whoever, you don't put your hands on another player. You don't do that. You got your own player, and then you just separate them, and then put your back towards that other player and say chill. But you don't go pushing another player, and that's what he did. He pushed him. So it's certain players you could probably get away with that, but linebackers and defensive ends and defensive tackles, those are fighting words, and you don't even have to say no words. If you put your hands on them, that's you telling them that you're ready to fight. And most of them jokers ain't gonna get is not gonna walk just the other way and act like they don't see what's going on. So listen, it's certain jokers you don't put your hands on, and everybody knows who they are.
He's definitely one of them. He's got loose screws. We know that.
He plays fiery. He plays with a passion. That's why I love him. Greenlaw is very violent. Go ahead, Steve.
Listen,
both the linebackers are like that.
Remember what happened to Rudy Tomjanovich, right? When Kermit Washington slammed him because he grabbed the player that's not. You don't touch players. I don't care if you're a coach. I don't care what you are. You don't touch players that's not yours. Like the dude could have died. You don't touch players that's not part of your team. Because I don't know if you holding me so your player could, your teammate or whatever hit me.
Yeah.
You know,
and not only that,
you don't grab your player.
All I'm saying is this: when you see what took place, if it's your player, okay, if it's somebody on the Giants, if it's somebody on the 49ers, if it's somebody's on the Raiders, and if you see that they get slammed on the field and they could possibly get injured from a non-football play and it's looking like a dirty play, your sideline is going to respond. And that happens all the time. We've all been watching football. I'm not trying to justify the security dude getting involved, but when we talk about coaching,
if it happens,
you grass, man. Stop fighting for yards. You keep fighting, you 160 weight. Stop doing it.
But Mike,
I got you, man. Chill.
Mike is gonna justify Greenlaw's actions until
Lamar.
Go ahead and give your rebuttal. We've been waiting for a long time.
Go ahead, Rich, as I give my rebuttal after you.
You gotta stop and ask yourself, if a player is willing to knock a player out or slam them on their sideline, you know something ain't right with him.
That's what I said.
If you're willing to, because every player knows where that other sideline is at. And if they're willing to go the whole 10 and 15 yards on the other part and do something, you know, if you go to break him up or either go, it's going to be a big fight. And then most of his team is love that dude. So if you with him,
Mike,
it's going to be a whole big thing.
Y'all missing a key
Rich,
part.
Rich.
He's a linebacker in the NFL. His job is to be violent at all times when he get on that field. He can't turn it off and on because a big brawly dude that's on the sideline is pushing him. All he know is, old boy fighting for yards. He real skinny. I'm going to slam him down, let him know, stop doing that. And then he gets somebody coming to his rescue. Oh, don't hurt my player. I get it. Don't touch me. You don't know me like that, homie. I don't know who you are. I get it.
But Mike,
one other point, Mike. I left this out when I was talking about analyzing the game. The reason why we responded that way is because we knew that y'all came into this game to make a statement, and that aggressive move was taken as y'all trying to punk us in that moment. That was a statement move. First of all, you came to the game, everybody dressed in black, like you're going to a funeral.
Steve, they all
the last team to do that was the Baltimore Ravens. When they had their top flight defense. It's documented. Look at the Baltimore Ravens defense documentary. Ray Lewis said that they wore all black to try and send a message to the team that we coming to a funeral. This is going to be a burial, something that. So they came into our stadium all dressed in black. You see actions like that taking place in the middle of the game. Of course, it's going to cause fire on our sideline. When we was warming up, they didn't go to their side. They walked right through us. So trust me, it was heated since then, leading up to that point. But we're really wasting too much time on Dom, man.
I just had to touch on that because he mentioned rules. Since we were talking about rules, I was like, "There's my segue into rules." So I'm
sure answer Lamar real quick.
I'm sure it's gonna be a real harsh, some kind of harsh response from the NFL, so that don't happen going forward. But
he might get fired,
Dom, because you know you ain't supposed to do that. I don't know who you are. I don't care. I don't like the fact that you put your hands on my player. So you better apologize to the NFL.
Hey, quick answer to Lamar. Because you asked if it was the Raiders, the Niners, or the Giants, what we would do if we was on the sideline. Mm-hmm. At that point, I'm Jermaine O'Neal. So
exactly.
Yeah, you lucky Fred Warner to make run over like that, man.
I didn't say he was wrong. I would have done the same thing. You know, I'm just telling you, he went against their code of conduct doing that.
Okay. Right. And I have no arguments there. Like I said, he probably gonna get fired. I'm just trying to explain why we responded the way that we responded.
Because we had beaten the brakes off you. Y'all needed a little spark. So that gave you a little spark. But I'll say this much as I give my little soliloquy, as Mark like to say. I realized something because I peeped y'all for the last couple months. Not just you. You're one of the rare ones. You, Aaron, there's a couple of y'all that's rare that give respect to us.
Lamar's rare, not Aaron.
Your fan base does not respect the 49ers as a whole. Your fan base is not scared of us. They don't fear us. And the truth is, they do not respect us. They've been talking recklessly for months, making it sound like, no, had Brock played, we'd have still beat y'all up. And I'm going to be real. Y'all thought it was sweet. Y'all thought because of what y'all did against us back in January, it was going to be sweet. It was going to repeat itself. And I'm like, dog, you don't tick off a wounded dog. We was wounded and we got upset and we had a lot of time to game plan and digest. But like Rich said, we had one of your key players on our team right there in the trenches. So all the little things y'all like to do, yeah, I know it's a new offensive coordinator, but he still knows what Nick Sirianni likes to do. So it kind of helped us out. I'm not going to say that he dominated the game or nothing like that because Jalen had 12 seconds to throw. It was just applause to my secondary that they held up phenomenally in the coverage because they didn't give up no big plays other than the A.J. Smith play like early on. So
they held up. They use that word. Hell.
I don't know.
It was
I seen Lane Johnson go off sides 4 times in one series, and they ain't called it once.
Yes.
And he tackled Bosa with an arm bar, but I like the fact that the ref followed the whistle and let him play. So I like
Yeah.
that.
They let both teams play on Sunday because there was some calls that wasn't called on our side, and there was definitely some calls that wasn't called on your side. Because I seen there was some PIs on on AJ Brown, but like I said, this ain't about excuses. So
I like
go
that.
ahead and break it down.
Usually as fans, we usually get upset because the refs determine the game. We can't do that with this one. The refs stayed out of it. They said we're gonna let them play, and they let them play. Because you think with my D line, Jalen Hurts should have 10 seconds to throw? I think that lets you know what was going on when they're holding the outside of the pads on all of my defensive ends.
Tackling.
Nobody can get off the blocks.
Tackling.
But I like that. They let him play. So overall, I think Kyle did an excellent job of letting everybody get utilized. He utilized Jawan Jennings, which was rare. Jawan be getting in spurts and getting big third downs for us, but he used them. He used Kittle. He used everybody. Even our backup running backs got in. Our second and third running backs got in and got yards. One got in and got 5 yards, got 10 yards on 2 carries. So I seen something, and I think it motivated us. So we know we got to win out to, lock down home field. It ain't going to be easy, but we circled this game. We needed this game. It was a confidence booster, and it let us know. And it put the league, the Raiders, Giants, Eagles, Cowboys, everybody else that, we for real. And I'm going to tell y'all Philly fans, Lamar included, and everybody that's watching, Cowboys are waiting for you, buddy. They smell blood. And I'm right with them. Let's go, Cowboys. I need y'all to get them 2 losses in a row. I need it. In closing. Rich,
let me just respond to that real quick. I need y'all
to take 2 L's back to back. Y'all don't know what that feel like. We do. Y'all don't know what that feel like. Go ahead, L.
Even with 2 L's, it'll be a 3-man race. But look at the remaining games following those the records. We would be 10-3. Y'all, they would be 10-3. Y'all successfully win next week. You would be 10-3. You should. You got Seattle again. Y'all usually dominate them. But then moving forward, look at the schedules. The favorites that would possibly get that home field would come down to the 49ers or the Philadelphia Eagles more than likely. Dallas still has to play, even if they win this game, they got to play Detroit. They got to play the Miami Dolphins. And it's another hard team left on their schedule that they have to play. My mind just slips me at the moment. But none of their games closing the year is no cupcake. But right. But we play the Arizona Cardinals, and no pun intended, Steve, but we play the New York Giants twice.
Let's go, Giants.
Y'all play the Rams. Y'all got all the birds. Y'all play the Arizona Cardinals. Y'all play the Baltimore Ravens. That's gonna be a tough game. Right.
Yeah.
Y'all gotta be if and that could be another L. So that's gonna be a tough game. So I think really if we do lose, we might have the most easiest path to still win home field advantage.
Well, no, because they would leapfrog y'all as the lead in that division, though, if they beat y'all.
No, but he's talking about after
that game.
After the fact, yeah. They gotta win out. They gotta win out. They would have to win out.
A good one, but I definitely see them beating the Lions. I don't see the Lions beating them. I'm not sold.
Lions is tough this year.
But again, I'm not downplaying them.
They good. They just inconsistent. The Lions. They're not consistent.
Golf be weird. One day he looked great, then the next game Rich had him in his fantasy and had to drop.
Look at that game against Green Bay. The first time they played them, they kicked their behinds, and then they came back against them, but on Thanksgiving they lost to them.
Yeah. All right, gentlemen, I think we covered that. I'm good on the I don't even want to go into week 14. We kind of already touched on who we gonna play. We got Seattle, Philly. Who you guys got? You got the Cowboys, right?
Yes.
Who you got, Rich, this week?
Minnesota.
Minnesota.
45 to 13. The Giants play Green Bay.
Ooh, Jordan Love. All right.
48.
Monday night.
All right, good. So, all right, so
Sunday night.
all right, so all of us gotta, do what we gotta do. Again, I sleep on no team. I'm over the Eagles now because we did what we needed to do. Hopefully, we'll see how it play out. We might see them again, but I need them to come to San Fran now. We went to Philly. I'm good off that now. So I need them to come to San Fran. If we do see each other again, I don't care to come back on the East Coast. I'm good on that. But we gonna move on, man. We at that point, man. It's the time. I need you to pull on your guru hats here. I need y'all to explain it to me. Don't give me just a name. Y'all got to give me the why. Who is your favorite for the NFL MVP? Steve, I already had you going first anyway. Go ahead, sir, and give me the why. Mind you, it's subjective. Whoever, it all depends, but hopefully your picks make sense because you will get trolled if you ain't making no sense on who you pick. Go ahead. Go ahead, Steve, you first.
I told you earlier we had the same people. Well, one of the same people. But it has to be Tyreek Hill. I looked his numbers. Tyreek Hill, numbers-wise, he's number one in everything except for receptions, and he's number 2 in receptions. It's the only thing he's not number 1 in. Tyreek Hill has to be the MVP. To me, he's literally running away with it. I'm going with Tyreek. Tyreek is Debo to Miami. What Debo is to y'all, Tyreek is that for Miami.
No arguments there. All right. Thank you for that. All right, so he got Tyreek. Rich, I'm gonna go to you. What say you, sir? Who's your favorite for MVP?
Same exact player. There's no route that he can't run, and people know he's getting the ball, and still can't stop him on the end around or a quick slant or running deep, just outrunning everybody. You got to be a fool not to put two players on him at times, and they do, and he still outruns them, and they're like 20 yards away from him. So if you're going to go with anybody else, it got to be his quarterback that's getting him the ball and getting it to his other players on his sneaky tip. He's not big and flashy, but at the same time, he's getting the ball out quick to all his receivers, his tight ends, his running backs, everybody else. So if Tyreek don't get it because it's just, for whatever reason, the NFL don't want to give it to him, then you got to go with his quarterback because his quarterback is throwing dimes to all his receivers. He's putting it in his chest, and he's putting it in a way that they're running their routes and they don't have to stop and wait for the ball. They're just getting it and keep going. So most of his receivers look like they're faster than what they really are. And I mean, they are fast. They all run a 4.2 and they all track.
All of them fast.
But at the same time, they're going even faster when they don't have to stop and go. And he's putting the ball in a certain spot that they don't have to do all that stuff. They're just going. They're just catching it and they're still going. So if it's not Tyreek, then I would say Tua. Tua came back from a bad injury last year. And he's a comeback player. I mean, if he don't win MVP, he's definitely a comeback player. So I'll give it to Tua.
I'm not mad at that. Tua got 24 touchdowns, 3,400 yards on the year, 10 picks. He's one of the top passes right now in terms of like statistical. So I don't know MVP wise, but
but
getting the ball to him.
I kind of agree with Rich somewhat because that offense, all of them are fast, and he getting all of them.
Yeah, he's having a great year. Like I said, he's on pace. He's on pace to throw. He'll probably end up with he's at 24 right now. How many games left? 3, 4,
5.
5 games. Oh yeah, he gonna crack. He gonna crack almost probably 40. Might be in the 40, 42 range potentially, depending on who they play. So, all right, Tua's a dark horse in the race. I didn't have him on the list. All right, Lamar, what you got, man? Who you got? Thank you, Rich. So, David. Steven got Tyreek Hill. Rich got Tua. Lamar, what say you?
MVP in the NFL more than likely is a quarterback award. Very rarely it goes to another offensive player. Like, for instance, a running back. You got to do tremendous things as a running back. You got to go over 2,000 yards, go over 25 or more touchdowns to get that award. So for Tyreek Hill to do that, he's going to have to hit 2,000 yards and he's going to have to score probably about 25 or more touchdowns, which is possible. But my MVP is coming down to three guys, and I almost want to eliminate one. It's a quarterback. I got either Dak Prescott, Jalen Hurts, or Brock Purdy. Now, I eliminate automatically, and this ain't hate. I eliminate Dak Prescott. The reason why I eliminate Dak Prescott is because he has terrific numbers this year, but they played a lot of bad teams. I'm sorry. A lot of them numbers he put up has not been against top flight competition. I got Jalen Hurts.
Real quick, from a Cowboy standpoint, I've definitely heard Cowboys say their schedule's not much different than y'all's schedule. Just in terms,
way different. Way different. It's when you play. It's when you it's how your teams is grouped. Okay, the teams that you face when you face them. No, and I can rebut that real quickly. From the AFC West, they didn't play the Chiefs. We did. They played the Chargers. Okay, so there's certain teams from different divisions where we played a different opponent that's stronger than them, and they played someone that's not as strong. Now, for granted, I'll give them this: we didn't play Detroit. We played Minnesota. They got to play Detroit. But for the most part, the level of competition, look at it. I mean, I don't just take a moment. Everybody, we can Google it. I know that Steve is the analyst. He can break it down. When you look at the records of those teams, they're the teams that they were mostly teams that was in playoff contention last year, and they are playoff contenders this year. By far, we got one of the toughest strength of schedules in the NFL this season. It's documented. It's been on other networks that ain't worth mentioning. But trust me, I'm not making this stuff up to try and make my team look good.
I think Philly definitely has a harder schedule than Dallas in that word, because if they do play the harder teams in the division, anybody would pick playing the Chargers over playing Kansas City.
Yeah, in fact.
But I'm not giving it to Jalen Hurts, because look at what he got alongside him.
I wasn't done, sir.
Lamar, the thing about it is that
I cut him off. My bad.
Lamar, you went to the Super Bowl, so regardless if you won or not, you're gonna play the top teams in the league the next year. You went.
Yeah, I ain't complaining about it. You validating my point.
If that's the case, well, then you gotta look at Kansas City, who's doing that all the time. You know, Kansas City's doing that all the time, playing top notch, and they're not on fan club talking about, oh, look who we playing this week. Look who. But at the same time, the NFL is the NFL, and it all depends on which coaches get their team prepared. And this whole thing is chess. And if you make the wrong move, a team is going to capitalize on you. But at the same time, I know you better not say no Purdy, because that's where you're trying to go at now. And if you're going to give it to Purdy, it should never be Purdy. It'd be Christian McCaffrey before Purdy. But go ahead.
I ain't finished my statement. I never finished my statement. So we came down. So it comes down to two guys. So it comes down to two guys.
Throw that in there on behalf of the Cowboy fans that was watching. Go ahead.
So for me, it comes down to two guys. It comes down to Jalen Hurts and Brock Purdy. Now, yes, Steve is right. Look at what's around Jalen Hurts. You got two good receivers on the outside. You got an offensive line, and we got a good running back. Look at what's around Brock Purdy. You got tons of talent. He got receivers. He got a good offensive line. He got probably the best running back in the league. But the truth of the matter is this: if you eliminate any one of them quarterbacks from the equation, those teams don't win. I'm sorry. If Jalen is not behind center in Philadelphia right now, we would not be the team that we are. Everything that we do, everything that the league complains about, the touch push, the threat of him running, the whole game plan that teams gotta have when you face the Philadelphia Eagles. Look, Fred Warner is an aggressive linebacker. He had to play 50% as a scout to make sure that Jalen Hurts wasn't running and being ready to attack if he was doing the quarterback draw. So teams play us differently based upon Jalen Hurts being behind center. So that's one, and Brock Purdy is definitely the other one. The reason why I say this is that, look, the reason why San Francisco is where they are is because he's playing good football. If Brock Purdy plays like dirt, they're in trouble. But the reason they are where they are is because Brock Purdy has one of the highest passing percentages. Yes, one of the best passing ratings of this year. He's getting the ball to all of the different receivers. So they go as he go. Yes, they would still be a good football team. But when you talk about them being one of the possible Super Bowl contenders, all of that has been made possible behind the good play of Brock Purdy. So I got it as a two-man race. I got either Jalen Hurts or Brock Purdy.
Hold on, Lamar.
I don't feel Jalen Hurts being there, because I feel like he's not the reason why Philly is winning. I feel like you can replace Jalen Hurts with anybody, because here's the thing: he gets a lot of time back there. You even said yourself, the sacks that y'all gave up was his fault because he held the ball too long. So that's number one. Number two, his second year in the league, he got both of those weapons. We never seen him without those weapons, except in his first year where he barely played. I feel like they helped him develop. I feel like he's not the reason. I don't feel like Jalen Hurts is the reason. But as far as Brock Purdy, I agree Brock Purdy is a candidate, and it is hard for a receiver to get it over a quarterback, you know. But if you're not looking at the impact Tyreek has on that team and on that games, you're not watching football to know that, because it comes down to more than the numbers, you know. It comes down to more than the numbers. Certain things come down to more than the numbers. And again, he has the numbers because he's number one in everything except for receptions, which he's number two. He's 9 yards, he's 9 catches behind what's the old boy name? Keenan Allen for receptions. He's nine receptions behind Keenan Allen. But he's number one in everything else. You can't ignore that, man. You can't.
I'm not ignoring it, Steve. And I agree with what you're saying. That he's playing football worthy of MVP. The thing is the NFL going to give it to him? I think he needs to do above and beyond in order for him to get that award.
I agree with you that it's hard for another position to get it. I think the second position of offense that would be close to getting it after quarterback is running back. So I do think it's hard, but to me, he should be leading the pack. Tyreek should be leading the pack.
Listen, we won't be even talking about the Dolphins like we do if it wasn't for the fact that Tyreek Hill is on that field every Sunday, and he's a matchup nightmare.
Go ahead, Rich. I'm going to comment after Rich in terms of who
Steve, I got. Lamar, Mike, all you guys are wrong about the quarterback. The number one quarterback in the league is Patrick Mahomes.
No one said who was the number one quarterback.
Do not.
In what area? Not statistically, no. Not this year, not right
now. Because you're letting the numbers lie to you. You're not looking at all the drop passes that his receivers are hurting him with. Now, you put AJ and Devontae on Kansas City. He's clearly blowing teams out. You put Tyreek on Kansas City. City blowing teams out. You put CeeDee Lamb and all on Kansas City, they're blowing teams out. Patrick Mahomes is doing his job. He's putting the ball right there in their hands. It's not his fault that these guys are missing wide open touchdowns to win games, wide open catches to get first downs to move the ball. A lot of passes, and listen, my eyes don't lie to me. I don't care about all that number stuff. You want to sit and look at a quarterback and putting the ball right there, but his receivers are not helping him. Then you know what? You got you. I guarantee you, if you put all three of those quarterbacks on Kansas City, they don't do nothing. But you put Patrick Mahomes on any one of them other teams, they are blowing teams out. They're blowing.
Listen, that's the poster child. That's the poster child of the NFL.
Three things, Rich. Let me say this. Three things, Rich. Three things. None of us ever said any of them was the number one quarterback in the league. None of us said that. We all agree that Mahomes is doing more with less. We all know that.
Yes, we know that.
But here's the harsh reality that we live in today, the world today. You don't get rewards for almost. Almost doesn't count. I agree. He's working his tail off. He always had. If you go back to the Super Bowl, he lost against Tampa Bay. He played great, but the team wasn't helping him. So unfortunately, he lost. You can't win if your teammates are not helping you. They're not catching the ball. Almost catches don't get you there. You know what I'm saying? I agree. He is the best. To me, there's no denying he's the best quarterback in the league, period. Yeah. But he don't have the weapons that they have. He don't. We're talking about numbers. You know, no one said he wasn't the best quarterback. You know, I agree. You give him them weapons, he's there. You know, but the hard.
In another,
I'm not going to debate Steve.
And can I chime in one thing? Wins and losses. Wins and losses. They look at that in MVP. Wins and losses.
Again, the league will give it to Patrick before they give it to Hurts. The league will give it to Patrick before they give it to Purdy. The league will give it to Patrick before they give it to Dak. That's why Tyreek will probably win, because they're not going to sit there and give a 7th round pick that award, because they know it's going to hurt San Francisco's franchise, because you're going to have to give that man all that money. If he says
that's the perfect story.
He getting that money next year.
That's the perfect story.
He's earned his money with that game this week. 4 touchdowns against that defense. He earned his money. He's getting.
But the thing, Mike, if he gets money that you're thinking about he's gonna get, it's gonna collapse. The 49ers is gonna pay big time, because your Debo, all these big names that you got, your linebackers, all your whole defense.
Now, Rich. I know we gonna man too.
Right.
They're gonna break up the band. Every year we lose 8-9 players because people go snatch our players up. Win now while we got the band together. Right. That's what I care about. I ain't worried about that. I wouldn't.
Right. And why he's not getting the big money. You got to take advantage of it.
That money.
But we're talking about MVP. You got to understand your record has something to do with that too. How you play in the playoffs has something to do with that too. So it's kind of early. We're taking an early guess on the possibility. Of course, we always know the poster child of the NFL is going to be in the running. They love Patrick Mahomes, but right now, currently, his team does not have a better record than the other people that we mentioned. So until we get to that point, and understand this too, Rich, when you said the NFL's not gonna, I believe they was on pay. They was about to give it to Jalen last year. Jalen got hurt. And then Patrick Mahomes had 3 phenomenal weeks of football when Jalen wasn't playing. And then, Jalen came back. He was a little rusty and stuff. So I believe that Jalen probably would have got it last year. So don't think that, you know what I mean, they're not going to give it to a Jalen Hurts or somebody else like that.
I see your point, Rich, but to piggyback what Lamar said, well, first of all, no, they wasn't going to give it to Jalen last year. But to piggyback what Lamar said, if that's the case, they would have given it to Lamar Jackson a couple of years back when he was all Baltimore had, and they almost made the playoffs. You
I
know,
thought he did get it. He didn't get it?
He did get an MVP.
no,
He
not the
did
year
get
he
it.
got it. Not the
Oh,
year he got it. When his
okay.
receivers gone,
Oh,
he didn't have any receivers. Everybody was hurt except for him. They were getting players off of labor ready to play, and they still made the playoffs. That's the year I'm talking about.
and Steve, you brought up another point. It's hard to get it back to
Yeah.
back.
Fact. Let me chime in while I got a window. I see the window pop up. Let me read some of the responses we getting in the body. What's going on? Philly Fed, talk to me nice. Philly Fed, talk to me nice. Anyway, he said Purdy or Hill. That's who we got as MVP favorites. And then he says, I don't know what he was saying. He said facts about the quarterback playing on that team. I don't know if that's
He was talking to Lamar when Lamar said you take Brock Purdy or Jalen Hurts off the team, then those teams don't be as productive. That's what that response is.
Okay. So for me, my personal opinion, I definitely got Tariq as the favorite in my eyes. Tariq has been, if I'm looking at consistency throughout the year, Brock had 3-game stretch where he did not look that great. So I'm gonna be real with you. Them 3 losses, he looked like a 7th round pick during those 3 losses. So that for me right now is the only reason why I don't have him there. But statistically, he's a 116 rating, which leads the league. He has 23 touchdowns, which is 1 behind Tua. He got 3,100 yards. And plus, you got a couple of rushing touchdowns on quarterback sneaks. So overall, yes, he should be in the argument. But Tariq consistently week to week, even with you game planning for him, is unstoppable. So I give Tariq the favorite to get it, which is unprecedented for a wide receiver, let alone. But if he hits 2,000 yards, it's no question at all. It's never been done. So it's not. He's gonna probably end at 1,900 or so. But depending on who he play, he could have back-to-back 200-yard games. He just has that kind of speed. But my favorite, I think, should be Tariq, because remember, Gurus, a lot of us was throwing Tua under the bus prior to him coming there. A lot of y'all thought Tua was a bust. So I remember that. We go back a couple of years, like 2 years before he got hurt. Some of y'all might even be watching or on here. You know who you are. You had Tua kind of like, yo, time for him to go. And lo and behold, now Tua's back in the equation because he got a threat. And, the same threat was also with Mahomes. So is it Mahomes or is it the Tariq factor?
You got to say it's both, though, Mike, because look at what Tariq doing now. And Mahomes won a Super Bowl without Tariq. And went to 2 without him.
Yeah, so we clearly see Mahomes is Mahomes, regardless of what talent. It's just when he gets really good talent, he's even better. But Tariq shows you he's equally as important, because he can go to a Mahomes and make Mahomes look like that, and then Mahomes still shows that. But then Tua was not on nobody's list as a top-tier quarterback. Let's be real. And now he is, and that's the Tariq factor. So Tariq is my favorite to win it. He's been consistent all year, except for maybe 1 or 2 games where he didn't have breakout games. But overall, he is the most feared man that gets on the football field.
Hey, Mike, let's just name 3 players without no explanation, just 3 off the top of your head that might get it. My 3 is Tariq, Patrick, and Christian McCaffrey.
Ooh.
No, just name 3. No explanation. Just name 3, and then later on we get a receipt to see which one out of the 3 won.
All right, go ahead, Steve. I'll let you think about that. I'll let you do that while I'm thinking mine.
Tariq, Purdy, and unfortunately, I don't feel like he deserves it, Jalen Hurts. But I'm never going to count Mahomes out. At the same time, I don't count him out of nothing, bro. At this point, I don't feel like he deserves it, but I don't count Mahomes out, man. Betting against him is something I don't do.
I got my 3rd. Go ahead. Thank you, Steve. Thank you. So you got Tariq, Purdy, and you said Hurts. Those are 3?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Hurts.
And Rich, who was your 3 again? I want to make sure I make sure it's loud and clear.
Tariq, Patrick Mahomes, and Christian McCaffrey.
Okay, I like that. I like that. All right, L, if you still there, let me hear your three that you would have. And in the body, let us know your three that you got. Three. You gave me two. Give me the third one. Go ahead, Lamar.
Well, I kind of gave you two. I said Purdy, I said Jalen Hurts, and we're gonna go with Jersey Boy and the Giants.
He trying to be funny.
Ah!
Look, I love it. Steve, do it one time. Steve, do it for the
Yo, nah, yo. Steve know me too well. Steve know me too well.
Vito, what are you thinking? Hey, what are you doing? Hey? All right, listen. For me, I got clearly I got Tyreek number one. I do have Purdy up there based on right now how he's performing. That leapfrogged him, so I got him at two. Number three gonna shock you. I cannot argue with them putting up 40 points a game. Dak Prescott number three.
Well, I'm on record of telling y'all for years that I actually like Dak. I've said that before. You can go back to the other show. I've always said I like Dak. I like Dak.
Wow. Let me read some of the comments. That's a surprise. I didn't know that. I'm using that sound.
I've always said that. You can go back and look.
Let me see. Let me read the comment from in the body. Said people talked about Tua last year saying he don't need to be in the league. That is a fact. Tua kept getting hurt last year. Yeah, so yeah, he was hurt. And before that, they were like, we don't know if he's a quarterback in the NFL. And they were talking about how, Alabama quarterbacks don't translate well. It was a whole discussion on Tua, but now Tyreek.
No, they were saying last year after that last injury, he should go ahead and retire.
Yep.
They said that. Now, mind you, I wasn't feeling Tua. And I'm really still not, because I feel like Tyreek breathed life into him. Just as I feel like Jamar Chase breathed life into Joe Cool, but we ain't gonna talk about that.
I'm not touching that because he's hurt, so I'm gonna leave that alone. In the body said not CMC because of the 3 bad games he had without Debo and their losses. Yeah, he struggled during those games. He ran hard, but he did struggle.
Debo make their offense different. That's why I keep telling y'all that.
Say that again.
Debo makes the Niners offense different. I keep telling y'all that. Not that Kittles isn't dope. CMC isn't dope. I like Ayuk and I like Jennings. I've been telling you about Jennings for a while. The problem is,
so somebody gonna try to snatch him up. We only got him for 1 year for like $1 million. So he'll be getting money from somebody. It might be the Giants, bro. Y'all, who knows? But he'll be out on the market for.
No, we don't need no more number 2s. We need a number 1, bro.
Hey, listen, you got the potential to be a number 1, man. It's just on our team, you just can't move.
He would be number 1, but he not.
Debo, but Shanahan put out a great statement about him, saying that we're the ones holding him back, not him talent-wise. He put a great statement about Jennings, literally letting the world know, like, no, he's ready to take that leap, but we're holding him back. Like, that's a big acknowledgement for your head coach, who's an offensive guru, to say that. And the body said Purdy, Hill, and maybe Lamar. Ooh, I didn't even think of Lamar Jackson. We totally look at the disrespect. We didn't even think of Lamar Jackson.
No, you ain't reading the whole. You didn't read that whole thing.
He said Purdy, Hill, and maybe Lamar with the pizza guy from Jersey. Laugh out loud. No, Lamar Jackson. I knew he was where he was going. I didn't care about his horrible dad joke. I cared more about the Lamar Jackson thing. But yeah, why? Let me ask y'all, experts, why didn't we think of Lamar Jackson? What's that about? Well, no, Steve, you kind of did mention him, but you mentioned him prior years.
Mm-hmm.
Why is he not in the consideration for the talk? They up there winning. Yeah,
but they not amongst those teams, you know.
Yeah, he only got 13 touchdowns passing, so that's probably a big yeah. It's hard to give an MVP for only 13 touchdown passes in the body. Sorry, that's not enough. That ain't sexy enough. You gotta light it up a little bit more. So all right. So I like it, man. I like it. I think we have given the NFL sufficient time. In terms of MVP race and all of that good stuff. We'll see how it play out. We'll see which one of us is getting guru status. 2 of us got Tyreek, or 3 of us got
Three of us got
Tyreek, and Lamar's the only one that has
all 3 quarterbacks.
Who did Lamar have as his number one?
Lamar has Jalen Hurts, Brock Purdy, and if I'm not mistaken, he has he said McNabb.
No.
Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
Who was your favorite Lamar to get it? Who you thought was gonna get it?
Jamal. I mean, Hurts.
I don't think.
Favorite out of the three, Brock
All right,
Purdy.
so
You said
Purdy
Purdy?
and 3 Hills. All right, so 3 Hills and 1 Purdy. All right, yeah. Y'all don't know if y'all recognize this or not, but the NFL loves Purdy's story a lot. So he's gonna get them votes. Let's be clear. Like, look, he's gonna get those. He's gonna get those votes. This is the thing I want to say as I close out the NFL. Y'all keep forgetting Brock is exceeding expectations. He was not drafted to be in this position. I don't know if y'all realize that. He was the last pick in the draft. Nobody had him looking to start a year later, let alone to be winning and doing what he's doing. So in my mind, it's a win-win either way.
Lamar still there?
Listening, bro. Go ahead.
Didn't we have the Purdy story already? Wasn't that Tom Brady?
Ooh,
Wasn't that Tom Brady? Almost the last.
This ain't Tom Brady.
We've been there, done that. We don't want to, because I
It's
know
similar. It's not the same.
that you could put DeVito over in San Francisco, and DeVito would run that offense the same way, because both of them look like brothers. Purdy and DeVito looks like brothers.
Why DeVito getting so many mentions, man?
DeVito! I don't have Ben DiNucci no more. So
I was about to say, don't start that Ben DiNucci stuff. Like,
Oh, man. Hey, Steve. We don't want to put him on the map. All right, remember
that's
that.
facts. We were talking about it when nobody was talking about him. First game when he got in, we were like, "Who's DeVito?"
We put him on.
Even know who he was.
I didn't hear y'all say anything about him.
What?
It was real. Let me move forward.
Yeah.
My last we got one more comment from YouTube. I know y'all seen the little video they made and played it during the Eagles and 49ers game. They're really pushing for him, and y'all not paying attention. Yeah, I agree. I think America's falling in love with his story, and Purdy he can probably leapfrog. If we went out, he's leapfrogging Tyreek. Period. There's no question about that. But if we don't win out and have a hiccup somewhere and Tyreek put up 2,000, Tyreek gonna get it. That's my personal opinion. But yeah.
But look, here we go. The story that's way better than Purdy's is Tua. Tua had a concussion, wasn't gonna come back. They was talking about the NFL was trying to get him never to play again because they didn't want a lawsuit. They was trying to get him out of the league.
Facts.
He went and took some baseball lessons on how to slide and how to protect himself and this and that. And if anybody got the story, it's Tua. Tua went to Alabama. He came in because Hurst was syncing it up. He went in there third or fourth quarter against Georgia. He lit it up. They won a national championship. If Tua goes to the Super Bowl and win it this year, Tua is the comeback story, the MVP and everything else, because everybody keeps sitting there riding high with San Fran and Philly and the Cowboys, and that's the perfect story. And then when they talk about Miami, it's just Tyreek. They're not talking about Miami as a team. Miami is a team. So y'all can go ahead and sleep on them if y'all want. I'm not talking about you guys in the panel. I'm talking about just
No. I got you. The reason why the media don't talk about Tua, because the media don't believe in Tua. They were the ones pushing the narrative of him being out of the league. Yeah. They're not going to get behind him. And let's think about who get a good percentage of the votes for MVP. They're not going to vote for him to get MVP. I agree he should be a candidate, but they're not going to get behind that. Get behind.
What? Hey, Steve, I can promise you. Steve, hold on, Steve. I'm just one quick second. I can promise you one thing. Whatever happens on Fan Club, for some odd reason,
it happens.
Bro, listens and watch this coming up Sunday, and from here on out, how Tua gets listened to. Watch.
Yeah, they got watch. It's true because when we put it out there in the atmosphere, all of a sudden,
all of a sudden, like
network saying the same thing. I'm like,
they all act like it's them that's making it up.
As I transition to our next topic with the minutes that we got. Go ahead, Steve.
No, I was just saying, they're not gonna get behind. They would get behind Purdy before they would get behind somebody like Tua. I'm not saying I don't.
Rich, you got a message. Go ahead, Steve.
I don't agree with you too. I'm not saying I don't agree with you, Rich, about Tua's story as well. But it was the same guys pushing him out of the league. So they'll be kind of going against themselves if they got behind a story. That's the point I'm making.
That's a good fact. Rich, I'm not gonna read that one. I'm gonna let you read that one on your own, Rich, as I transition off of NFL. That message is from In the Body to you.
I don't know anybody. I didn't talk. But anyway,
he said Rich sound like a hater. Purdy wasn't supposed to see the field at all. Then they got rid of both guys, Trey Lance and, by the way, Jimmy G, who's on the Raiders, who's waiting to get his time, trying to get his position back. It said, yeah, the man to do the record the last 2 years since he's been playing, he's nice. Go ahead.
Can I ask In the Body a question based on what he just posted?
Yeah, go ahead.
Are you saying that, and this is no shot at you, L, this is no shot at him either. Are you saying that because you played the Niners and lost to Brock Purdy?
Well, I think he answered it just now. He said, I hate to say it, but Purdy is the guy.
But is he saying it because they lost to him?
I'll let him chime in when he yeah, that's a good thing.
I could chime in. Mike knows I've been talking about Brock Purdy since last year, so this ain't nothing new for me.
I'm not talking about you, L. You give it up. I'm talking about.
Oh, okay. All right. I didn't know who you was referring to because I heard you mention my name.
I said this not a shot at you or Aaron, but I want to know Aaron reason getting behind him because of seeing him last week. You know, is the reason? Is that the reason? I'm not coming at him. I'm just asking. Is that the reason he?
Been seeing him up close and personal.
That's what I'm.
See him. They got to see him for what?
That's why I'm asking.
Plays, and then they got to see him, and you know that the kid actually steps up in pressure because they didn't get pressure. But
that's why I'm asking.
But it's just like Mike. It's just like Mike said, and we all saw that game against Cleveland, against Minnesota. Hey, Purdy didn't look like all of that. Now,
no, he did not.
Miami probably lost certain games, that whatever games they lost, but Tua never looked that bad. Tua never looked the way Purdy looked in that Cleveland game. And in that.
Rich, I promise you this: Miami, when Miami don't make it far in the playoff, it's gonna be because of Tua.
No, it ain't gonna be because of Tua. It's gonna be if Miami don't have a winning record towards the end, and they got to travel to a bad weather stadium.
Yeah.
Then you could you could blame Tua, but it's not really Tua's fault. It's the coaching staff fault for just putting a high energy offense out there that just throws and not getting a real big power team. A power game to run the ball a low. But at the same time, they're running a lot of screens and a lot of short little things that Tyreek could take it to the house. So Miami just got to get 2 touchdowns. The defense got to hold up. And those winter cold games later on, if they go somewhere cold like Baltimore or Kansas City or somewhere else, but Miami got to win out to make sure that these teams come to Miami and play, because they got a high offense that's gonna just continue to go. Now, it's like I said, San Francisco, they run a lot of slants, a lot of wheel routes, and everything is 5 to 10 yards. It looks like it's big because Debo and them are taking it to the house, but you got to sit there and see where the ball is being caught at, and the ball is being caught 7 to 12 yards.
That's a fact.
7 to 12 yards. If you could cut that down before they get the ball or tackle them right away, then San Fran is going to be in a lot of trouble.
Rich, San Francisco just
you're watching for Miami is our offensive coordinator last year. Mike
Exactly.
McDaniel, that's the same offense. So how you giving them props for all these explosive plays, but then at the same time saying we
Because-
dink and dunk?
Also,
But
Rich,
is that Tyreek
also,
catching the
you
ball 30 to 40 yards down the field.
you mentioned Miami have to go to the cold. San Francisco just went to the cold in
It
the
wasn't
rain.
that cold in Philly this week.
Yes, it was, and it was
It wasn't
raining. What are you
cold.
talking about?
Yeah,
That's
it was
why.
cold this week.
It
That's
was
why.
cold and raining.
Like rain in Philly.
That's
It was
why
cold
Santa
and
Claus
raining in
last year-
Philly.
I agree with in the body. You sound like you hate. Let me read this comment. I gotta get off of NFL, I promise.
Yeah.
Steve, he answered your comment, Steve. He said, no, it's not Steve, but think about since he got the job, the points went up. That's a fact. Purdy gets everyone involved. That's a fact. And his quarterback rating says a lot, which is 116.
No, I definitely agree. I just didn't know if that was the reason why he said it. Because as we all said, when you see it up close and personal, you get a different perspective of it.
Yeah.
You know.
It is the
But
real-
that's a true point what he said.
Yeah, and he said, I guess that's the Rich. That don't matter because he still makes them look good. You talking about the 12-yard route. So you're right. We are dink and dunk. We give guys 12 yards and they go. If you look at Debo's catches against Philly, they was like 9 yards and he took it. And I said it on my other show. Debo ain't slow. Contrary to popular belief, those that think Debo is just this sick running back that can't
Who
run,
thought that?
dude, he can go. He clearly got
Who
wheels.
thought Debo was slow?
Yeah, that's crazy. He's one of the
Oh,
best
he was-
runners after the catch in the NFL.
People been calling him just a running back. Like, matter of fact, they former safety Gardner been calling him like, yo, you ain't a route runner. You've been taking shots at him all seasons. But
I'll say this. His routes isn't as crisp as theirs, but Debo ain't slow.
no, he is a bona fide. He is a playmaker, sir. That's a fact.
He's a playmaker. Once the ball in his hands, you better get him
That's
down.
not the word I use for Debo. He's the playmaker.
He's a playmaker. All right, gentlemen, we're going to get ready to close out with our last topic.
Your knowledge.
And I need y'all to put, this is for the college football gurus. I heard y'all wasn't on the show. You missed your moment. Y'all been talking on the chat about college football for the last 2 weeks. I do a show and none of y'all are here. You missed your moment. I don't want to hear none of y'all talking about college football because you could have been on here to be able to talk about it. Rich, I'm going to start with you. Actually, no, Lamar, because you're Florida State. Let me start with, I got to start with Michigan because they're the one that's in.
Come to me last, Mike. I want last.
Right,
we the number one.
Lamar, talk to the world.
I could go first. I could go
Lamar,
first.
talk to the world about how your Florida State fan base and the players are feeling getting left out of the big dance, man.
Well, everybody's miserable. I mean, it does stink. You're the only team that really won all your games. You did everything you were supposed to do according to what you look for when you talk about qualifying and making it into the Final Four to be one of the teams chosen by the committee. But the truth of the matter is that they want to see good games. We lost our quarterback, and once we lost Travis, once he went down, then they're going to pick the teams that they feel that's going to be a more competitive matchup. And that's what it comes down to, the bottom line. Once we lost Jordan Travis, I said it on the chat. Y'all can go back. I knew we did not stand a chance. Out of respect, they dropped us to 5. But the truth of the matter is they felt like the other teams that they placed in there would be more competitive games. So that's why we're not in it. And I kind of get it. So it stinks, but hey, it is what it is. That's why next year they're going to 12, and it'll be a whole different story.
I like that. I like that they're going to 12.
I agree, Lamar, but you said y'all the only one that won all y'all games. Y'all not.
Well, no. I mean, out of the top teams that was considered to be chosen, because we weren't the only team. There was a whole bunch of teams in college football that won all of their games. But I'm talking about out of the top we was literally ranked number 4 in it, when they was considering who would be in and who would be out. But that Georgia loss to Alabama just shook up everything. And I knew we would be the odd man out. So that's what I'm saying. Out of the top 10 teams, we was like one of the only ones that was ranked that high that had no losses. So that's what I meant.
All right. Anything else, Al? As I go to Rich, anything else? All right,
I'm done.
Cool. All right, Rich. I don't know if you got a dog in the fight. Who is your college team again? Or do you even have one?
I don't have a dog. I have an elephant.
Oh, Georgia. You probably a Georgia.
That's a bulldog. I don't have a dog. I have an elephant. I got.
Oh, you a Crimson Tide? Then you in the big dance. Go ahead, talk. Matter of fact, don't you play Michigan?
Yes, they do.
They don't want us.
You talking to a Michigan fan right next to you. He
listen,
can hear you. Go ahead, Rich.
They don't want us, and they're gonna see why real fast. If you want to come on down here, you can go wherever you want. You can come sit down right here, and you can watch the game. But listen, I have a plate of little barbecue wings for you. Whatever drink you want.
Love y'all to do that.
Go ahead, that nice big box of tissues because you're gonna look like those Auburn fans, those Georgia fans. You're gonna be all excited until the whistle blows. Like, it's all that crying out there. Listen, I don't want to hear the crying. I don't want to hear Jim is leaving the head coach to be the head coach of the Raiders of Carolina, or let me see where else he could probably go. Washington. But this will be Harbaugh's last year as a head coach for Michigan because Bama is going to put the sail on it and kick him out. They're going to beat him so bad that he's going to run back to the NFL. So that's what's going to happen this week.
Now, Rich, if you really about that life, Rich, you know what I'm gonna ask for.
Go ahead. What's the score?
What's the score? Talk to that man. Talk to that Michigan fan and let him know how this gonna play out for his Wolverines. You know how
you watch a game and when they beat up on these little high school kids and all they're all excited until they see that grown man come out there. They're like, whoa, I didn't know they was that big. I didn't know that quarterback was that big. I didn't know the wide receivers was that fast. I didn't know the running back. I didn't know those linebackers and defensive ends hit that hard. And that's what they're going to get. They're going to get smash mouth. And they're going to sit there and wonder why. Why don't y'all let us play Bama? Why y'all ain't let Florida State go play them? That's what's going to happen. Book it. And the score going to be tight. It's going to be up in the 40s. It's going to be up in the 40s. Both teams going to be up in the 40s. But at the end of the deal, some way, somehow, Bama is going to sit there and punch their ticket and have them go back home. That's it. Go watch Auburn, go watch Georgia, go watch their fan bases, and you don't even have to watch the whole game. Just watch the last 2 minutes of both those games on how the fan base is going crazy. And by the end of that 30-something seconds left in the game, that's when the crying starts. And that's what's going to happen to Michigan. The crying will start in the fourth quarter when it's a minute left in the game. And Steve, you going to go on live here? Because I want to see you cry too.
Talk your talk, Rich. Talk them. All right, Steve.
Steve don't shed no tears over no sports.
Look, Steve. He said they're gonna put up a 40 burger, but y'all gonna put up a 40 burger too. So no defense is gonna be present clearly in this game. All right, Michigan fan, what you got to say? It's a big matchup against a powerhouse.
The Michigan Wolverines win 38-12. We beating them. Listen.
Wow. Y'all ain't playing the Giants. Mike.
Let it rock, Rich. I want to hear the breakdown on why he can't have score. That's wow.
Out there, man. Or basketball, baseball or something. 12? Alabama 12 points.
Dude, you trolling or you serious? Give us a breakdown.
38-12, bro.
All right. What's the thought process behind that?
Listen, Michigan played Georgia, right? Remember we played Georgia and we laid an egg. We ain't doing that no more, bro. We not doing that no more. We got to the big dance last year and lost to Georgia. We lost the year before. We ain't doing that no more. You know how many years Michigan has been in championship games and haven't won? I'm talking football and basketball. It's our time, bro. It's finally our time. And what better team to play but Alabama?
Yeah. Yeah.
It ain't gonna be no roll tide. It's gonna be roll cry. Trust me. Michigan over Alabama 38-12. I'm promising you that. It's our year. It's our time finally. For all them years, we were miserable. You know, remember when LeBron said he did this for 50 years of losing in Ohio? This is for Michigan. This is for the Fab Five. This is for every Michigan Wolverine team that lost. It's our time now, bro. It's our time now. We ain't laying an egg this time. We got our coach back on the sideline.
Yeah,
you
Big
know.
Harbaugh. I heard y'all trying to lock him down for a 5-year deal, and
No, I
he
think
got
this
a
is last year.
contract that he can't pursue the NFL or something like that. If he
I think this is last year. Me personally, I think he gone. I think he gone after this year.
It hurts me to see him come back to NFL. We had him, and he was a phenomenal.
Y'all, he won the Super Bowl with y'all, didn't he?
Phenomenal leader, man. When he was with,
he won the Super Bowl with y'all, didn't he?
Baltimore beat him.
Played his brother. He lost, but he played his brother.
That was in New Orleans when the lights went out.
Yeah.
All right, so since I got y'all prediction on y'all game, Lamar, I'm gonna start with you. What you got? Washington, Texas. What's going on with that
one? When we talk about who wins, this is the sour spot for me, being a Florida State fan. So I really don't care too much. But if I had to pick, I'm gonna go with Washington.
So you like Phoenix? What's his name? Phoenix? What's the quarterback? You like the Penix?
Penix.
Yeah.
Penix. Yes. He's been playing good ball, and they got some fast receivers on the outside. That team has some resilience. So I would like this. I'm gonna go with Washington in that game.
Okay, I respect that.
And I agree with Steve. I like Michigan.
38-12.
Lamar, you want to give me a score? He said 38-12, which I think is.
I'm terrible with scores. That's gonna be a close game.
That's not Lamar. He don't do scores.
I don't do scores. That's gonna be a close game, though. That's gonna be a close game.
All right, thank you.
But I think Alabama's they still gonna be on their high from their victory over Georgia. So you know they might be sleeping on Michigan a little bit.
I'll tell you one thing, Harbaugh definitely went to Michigan and accomplished he's one step closer to accomplish 2 steps closer to accomplishing what he was sent over there to do at his alma mater. So yeah, man, I'm not surprised at all with the turnaround of that program. He's a great coach, man. So I got Michigan too, just on the strength of, I'm tired of seeing Alabama every daggone year. So yeah, let's go Michigan. Get my Alabama. Let's give Alabama a break from championship games for a minute. Can we please?
They
please?
did last year. They did last year, and now they're hungry again. But see, everybody's excuses is just an excuse. I'm tired of Alabama. So you know why? Because that's what they do. And if Michigan thought that Georgia made them look embarrassed, what Bama going to do to them? Because their coaching staff.
Georgia beat y'all last year. That year.
That year,
Georgia beat us. They beat y'all too.
Go ahead, Rich. Talk your talk, Rich.
That coaching staff that Georgia got right now, because Georgia was never doing what they're doing right now to that Bama coaching staff went over there. And now they out there doing that. But that's why Georgia and Bama is always a good game. And the great thing about Nick is that he don't let his team get high off a win. They get high off of diamond rings. And listen, Michigan is not going to stop them from not getting a diamond ring because they didn't get one last year, and Nick is used to getting a diamond ring every year. So he's bringing his boys back, and they're going to put on a show Saturday against Michigan. Michigan, listen, Steve, you might be right about that score. The bad part about it is that it might be Michigan at 12. All right. So you might be right. You might be right. 40 something to 12. So you want to throw up baseball scores? You know what? Sometimes whatever you say, those are your words, not mine. So when it happens, I'm going to say, you know what? You caused that. You caused that.
All right. Steve, rebuttal as I give y'all as I asked you and Rich about Texas.
You said you mentioned Rich mentioned Georgia beating Michigan that year, but Georgia also beat Bama that year. Let's not forget. They didn't just beat us. Right after they beat us, they beat y'all. Let's not forget that. Yeah, they beat us, but they beat y'all too.
But you gotta remember who got hurt in that game that plays for Philly.
Yeah.
You talking about Jordan Love? Listen, you talking to the wrong guy, bro. I don't do injuries.
You talking about Devontae. Devontae got hurt in that game, right?
Listen.
Devontae Smith got hurt in that game.
You talking to the wrong guy, bro. To me, injuries is never an excuse. So cry me a river, build a bridge, and get over it. I don't do injuries, bro. They made the team for a reason. You recruited them, let them play.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear injuries.
All right, so let me ask y'all now, as I'm off for Alabama and Michigan, I will be tuned in watching. Those that's watching, y'all give me your predictions. Y'all watching, y'all in the background. Who you got for the Michigan Alabama game? Who you got winning that one? For you that's watching, and then for the Washington Texas game, who you got winning that one? Rich, go ahead. Washington Texas, what you got?
I got Washington, and I'm hoping that the Raiders get their quarterback from Washington. I really like him, and then they got their top wide receivers from Vegas. So if you saw the game last week, you saw the coaching staff down there from the Raiders watching that game.
I seen that.
So head coach, the GM, all those people was down there watching that game. And hey,
for the quarterback though. I think y'all there for the quarterback, but could have been.
Who got the quarterback? Raiders?
Y'all might have been there for the quarterback.
Oh yeah. I like him. So right now, the rookie we got in right now for the Raiders is the best one on the team. He's not the best one for the team. So we need to go get our quarterback.
Get Jimmy G off the bench. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
So I got Washington winning that game, man.
Okay, all right. Steve, what you got, man? Washington, Texas, or you don't care because you only focus on your Michigan?
That's a fact. I don't really care.
I knew it.
You know, the only other college team I root for is Tennessee. You know, I don't really care about Washington and Texas.
Look, I'm gonna go off. I got Michigan winning, obviously that one, just because I'm tired of Alabama and they pipeline to the NFL. That's the only reason why they get the recruits, because that recruits know that's pretty much a 99% shot of you going to the NFL. If I go to Alabama, I get it. For Washington and Texas, Washington seemed more explosive to me, but I like Texas, so I'm gonna go with Texas on this one. Longhorns overdue. I always think back to the Vince Young days. They kind of always are the ones that exceed expectations. So I mean, listen, number 3 for a reason. So I'm gonna go with Texas, but it could go either way between that series. But I'm going with Texas, and the team that should have leapfrogged and been playing Florida State is Liberty University at number 23, undefeated. They should have let them move up there and let them play Florida State. I would have loved to have seen that. Lamar, what you think about that, or y'all would have shellacked them and blew them out?
For the national title, I would have loved that.
No, not even national
Trust
title,
me.
just whatever bowl y'all going to be in. What bowl did y'all end up getting, by the way?
You know what? I didn't even look that up. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Yeah. Once we got dropped out of the Final Four.
I don't care about these other bowls. But yeah, I would have liked to see the Liberty get a little bit more of a push than a 23. I know the strength of schedule is not enough, but let them play a top tier team to really legitimize. If they was, if that being undefeated was really if they could match with the big boys. But all right, man. So that's where we are for the night, man. I appreciate y'all. Y'all gave some great insight again for the the college football gurus that be on the Fans Club chat, you missed your moment. I was going to let y'all rock, but you got to be in attendance in order for that to happen. So you missed your moment. Don't blame me, David, Donald, Terrence, whoever else. You missed it. That's on you, not on me. And I don't know when I'm going to circle back again until these teams play. Maybe next week. I have no choice because it's a big game, so I'll have to touch it again. So don't miss your moment next time. But shout out to my panel. You guys were awesome. Gave some great insight tonight. I just want y'all to know, for anybody that's watching us, please spread the word. My panel that's on here. Can y'all do me a solid? Can y'all share this video so the people know that Fans Club is out here on the internet, so that they know there's no other interactive show like this where you can talk to the panel, leave a comment. They're going to go back and forth with you. But to do that, you have to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube at Fans Club Live Show. Same name on all platforms. Follow us, and you too can be hashtag joining the discussion. So I need you to do that. Panel, that's all I ask. Make sure you share it, because the older for us to grow, they got to know that we out here. So appreciate y'all, man. Y'all had a great night. Great conversation. And we're going to see what's going to happen. The veto. Let's go. Bang, bang, 9 again. Y'all heard what it was. Y'all have a blessed one. Y'all.
Good night, fellas. God bless.
L, I like that you respected the L. Some people don't do it, but you respected it. I love it. Y'all have a good one.
Steve,
Down goes the Cowboys. Sunday night football, baby.
Come on, Cowboys. I need y'all to handle that. I need them to lose 2 straight so their morale can drop. I need that to happen. Let's go.
Hey, Lamar.
When does a Cowboy Niner fans agree on something?
Hey, Lamar.